Sylhet city, the administrative centre of Sylhet division. Located in the northeast region of Bangladesh, most famously known for its scenic pastoral lands and tea gardens. However, in the last 60 or 70 years, Sylhet has become synonymous with the British Bangladeshi diaspora, where the vast majority of British Bangladeshis come from. But the Islamic history of Sylhet actually begins with the Muslim conqueror and the Sufi saint Sheikh Shah Jalal rahimahullah, who is believed to have come from Hadramaut, Yemen, to spread Islam and to fight a tyrannical Hindu king. Right behind me is where Sheikh Shah Jalal is buried. It's a shrine where thousands upon thousands of Bangladeshis come here from around the country to make prayers for him. Others come to pay their respects. The story goes that in 1303, a man called Burhanuddin, who some regard as the first Muslim of Sylhet, on the birth of his son, he had sacrificed a cow for aqiqah. Upon hearing the news of the sacrifice of this cow, the Hindu king of Sylhet, Gur Govinda, was enraged. And what he did after was that he killed the newborn son of Burhanuddin and chopped the right hand of the father. Upon hearing this news, the neighboring Muslim Sultan, Shamsuddin Firoz Shah, was also enraged and wanted to seek vengeance for this murderous and tyrannical act. And he had ordered jihad to come to Sylhet, unsuccessful 3 times, but on the 4th time, led by Sheikh Shah Jalal and 360 of his followers and mujahideen, had come and fought Gur Govinda, liberated Sylhet. From there on, Islam spread in Sylhet. Once Islam had established in Sylhet and was spreading around the region, there are historical testimonials by the famous Islamic historian and traveller Ibn Battuta, who came from the Maghreb. In his Rihla, he described Sheikh Shah Jalal as a very pious man, unworldly, not attached to the dunya. And he had 1 goat or 1 sheep from which he used to extract milk. And his warriors were very protective of him. And that is how he lived out the concluding years of his life. So how does the story of Sheikh Shah Jalal and the Islamic conquest of Sylhet relate directly to me? So in Bangladesh, there are various tribes and castes. There's Chaudhry, there's Pathan, there's Sayyid, and there's Sheikh Bongsho. Sheikh Bongsho are those who trace their lineage back to Sheikh Shah Jalal and his 360 companions and mujahideen. My village, Faridpur in Lala Bazar, is named after Sheikh Farid al-Ansari al-Yemeni, from whose lineage I trace my family back to, our Muslim lineage, and he's buried right here. When you speak to people who come from Sheikh Bongsho, they are pretty much conclusive that Sheikh Shah Jalal and his companions actually came from Hadramaut in Yemen. And to my left here, you'll see my village masjid. MashaAllah, it is a very beautiful masjid, and it is very common for British Bangladeshis who originate from Sylhet, with the money that they have earned, that they contribute towards the building of masajid in their respective villages and unions. And this is one which my father, my uncles, my grandfathers, and my extended family and kin have all contributed towards, both from Britain and here, to build this masjid in Faridpur. So to understand a bit about the British colonial history and what role Sylhet played in terms of the partition period, I have a very special guest. In fact, the only guest that actually features in this documentary, very close to home, literally at home, and that's none other than my older brother, Mohammed Iqbal. Bye, Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah.
What's happening?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Tell us a bit, because I know this segment of history is one of your passions. Tell us a bit about Sylhet during the partition period.
Well, Sylhet was a part of Assam province. It wasn't originally part of the partition of Pakistan and East Bengal. Now, Sylhet division had a referendum in 1947, the same year. This was between June and July. And this is very critical because, alhamdulillah, now Sylhet is obviously a part of Bangladesh,
Alhamdulillah.
which at that time was East Bengal, and then the name obviously was changed to East Pakistan. Now, that referendum that was in June, July, it was 56% to 44% in favor of to be part of East Bengal.
So East and West Bengal were going to be split between India and Pakistan.
Well, the original name was Pakistan and it was East Bengal. Later on, the name became West Pakistan and East Pakistan.
Acha.
In the matter of, say, about 6 months or so, the official name was just changed to West Pakistan, East Pakistan.
Okay.
And in August, when the Radcliffe line was drawn, it was on 12th of August, which was published. We actually lost about 3.5 thana of Sylhet, which went to India. So when that line was drawn in 12th of August, it was published, 3.5 thana was lost, and one of them was Karimganj.
That's crazy. So we nearly became part of India.
Yeah, it's very, very close. Alhamdulillah, because originally that was not part of the partition, so Sylhet required a separate referendum.
Now, our trips weren't planned together.
Yeah.
What are you up to? Yeah.
Well, I came a day before you, and obviously you've had a lot of work in Dhaka, and alhamdulillah, I've been with you as well. I've been with you during this trip. And obviously we've got our own initiative, which we do a lot of work in the rural area. Lal Bazaar Slum Initiative. We've got many projects going on, from helping the local peoples with water pumps, repair of roads, tin sheets, helping out with irrigation facilities and so on.
And this is entirely local to our union, right?
Yeah, this is just for our union, Lal Bazaar.
Have you had anyone from outside the union coming for help?
Yeah, we've had people coming from, from Tetli, from Jalalpur, from also some of the other unions that are neighbouring us, and they want help. But at the moment, it's just specifically for the people of this union, Lal Bazaar.
Love, my bro. Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah feek.
To understand the post-World War II migration from India and formerly East and West Pakistan, you have to understand the British colonial history of the Indian subcontinent. In 1757, the British Empire landed in Bengal, where they remained for nearly 200 years. I'm currently on Keene Bridge, a bridge that was built in 1936 by Sir Michael Keane, the British governor of Assam region. And after World War II, there was a need for migration, economic migration from the Indian subcontinent and the wider Commonwealth. And that is when the first wave of migrants came from India, East and West Pakistan, and later Bangladesh. PG tips, Tetley, Typhoon, Yorkshire tea is usually associated with Britain and England. However, I am in Malani Chora tea estate in Sylhet, which is one of the oldest in Bangladesh. It's been here since 1854 during the British colonial occupation period. In fact, tea was such a huge and significant revenue earner for the British Empire that it went to war many times with China and other European powers over the trade and commerce pertaining to tea. It can be argued that the tea of the Bengal region and the tea of the Indian subcontinent actually put the great in Britain. When you think of the English or the British people, one of the first things that's associated with them when it comes to dining and some of their eating habits is their love for tea. But many don't know that the tea which bought the British Empire tens of millions, perhaps even billions of pounds equivalent of today, was the tea leaves of the Indian subcontinent. And when I say that we put the great into Britain, is because the crown jewel of the British Empire was the Indian subcontinent, hence it was called the British Raj. It was worth more than gold and silver at one point. It was worth more than heroin and opium. It was perhaps the #1 produce which brought so much money into Britain, which funded further wars, further occupation and further colonialism around the region and beyond. Besides Sylhet's iconic and scenic pastoral lands and tea gardens, it is also famous for the Jaflong stone quarry, which actually borders India, Meghalaya and Doki. People who want to build their homes or renovate their homes, whether they're locals or people from Britain, they come here for the essential materials like stones, cement, bricks, sand, coal and other essential materials. It is also a very popular tourist site. People from across Bangladesh visiting Jaflong with their families as a popular tourist site. The scenery is absolutely beautiful, but it is also a key revenue stream, not just for the Sylhet division region, but for Bangladesh as a whole, because of its diversity and options in the materials required to build new homes. When Bengalis from East Pakistan and later Bangladesh arrived in the UK, they brought with them various fish-based cuisines, one of their staple diets. I am now in Lal Bazaar, the largest fish market in Sylhet, where I'm going to show you around the different types of fishes that Bangladeshis and particularly Sylhetis eat. Assalamu alaikum. E masor naam kita?
Etar naam rui mas.
Roi mas. Ai boroi go?
Boal mas.
Boal mas. Acha.
Eta la khatla mas.
Khatla mas, roe mas,
Boal mas.
boal mas.
Chingri mas.
Igu king prawn ni?
Chingri.
Chingri. Bangladeshis are very famous for chingri, king prawn. King prawn is it's a very pricey thing to eat. So when you go to Indian restaurants and you order king prawns, a lot of it comes from Bangladesh.
Jatka mas.
Jatka mas. So some of the famous fishes that Bangladeshis eat in the UK and generally around across the country is Hilisha mas, one of the very famous fishes, roe mas, gagot, fabia mas, and basa mas. Sylheto kin famous mas. Oguni. Acha. Chitol mas. Arkin mas. Bang mas kingu. Okta. Okta. Acha. Now I myself am not a big fan of fish. I had some childhood trauma when I got bones stuck in my throat. But you know, it'd be hard pressed to find a Bengali or a Bangladeshi who doesn't like fish. My mum and dad, our family members, my in-laws, they eat all these types of fishes. Igur gosa boroni.
Eta gosa boro.
Ki masol gosa huru ar
Ola gosa nai, boal masel gosa nai.
igur zora gosa nai. Acha ami ek proshno asori. Jemra Londoni manushai nai. Tora price up hoinani. Local price ase ar Londoni price ase nani? Asa hoila. Acha ye to life. So what happens here is when Brits come here, what actually happened was that they boosted the local economy and the local fish market to the extent where there's a local price for fish and a Londoni price for fish. It could be double, triple, quadruple. So sometimes it's best to send your local relatives to purchase fish. With so many British Bangladeshis visiting Sylhet on a regular basis, and over the course of years, their fine dining experience has now been catered for. Sylhet is not short of pizzas, southern fried chicken, gourmet burgers, steaks, slam burgers. You can find it all in Sylhet in abundance. But my favorite joint is Fast Buy, this place right behind me, translated as Five Brothers. Let's go check it out and see what they got in the menu. There's an assumption that Bangladesh is not known for grilled food, but you'd actually be surprised if you check out the grilled chicken. It's banging, it's delicious. Bangladesh and Sylhet specifically is known for white boiled rice, various fish curries, dal, but personally their biryani and their grilled chicken is fantastic. So all the items on the menu have arrived, and I just want to make it clear, I'm not a man of gluttony, but we've bought all the items just so to show you what everyday Sylhetis eat at Fast Buy. That's our guy Salahuddin, he's a waiter, he's a lovely brother. The grilled food is here. You know me, I love my protein. It's grilled chicken, grilled beef, grilled lamb. This is gualmas. That's a spinach. This is one of my favorite sauces. You'll find it in a lot of eateries in across Bangladesh, actually, not just Sylhet. It's like a spicy sweet sauce, delicious. Actually better than most of your kebabish sauces in the UK. Special type of Bengali naan. If you check this naan out, it doesn't look like your conventional naan that you find amongst the Afghans and the Central Asians. This is dal, so it's lentil. That is shatkara and beef. That is called Kerala bhaji. These are all vegetable items. This is quail. Now, for those of you who know the little bird quail, very popular dish. All of these items are regularly eaten by everyday people, whether you're from the UK or your local Sylhetis. This is pretty much what you'll eat as a staple. Real popular ni. মানুষ খাইনি না লন্ডনের মানুষ তো বেশি খাই দেশের মানুষ তো খাই আচ্ছা বলা এইসব আইটেম তো পপুলার কিন্তু কিন আইটেম ভেরি পপুলার boiled white rice is the staple of the Bengal region, not just Sylhet, not just Bangladesh, West Bengal, Seven Sisters, Assam. The people of Bengal eat white rice. This is actually one of my favorite curries. Beef and shatkara. My wife makes it, my mum makes it, my mother-in-law makes it. Love it. Dal. Everyone has dal. Indians, Pakistanis, Afghans, Bangladeshis, we all have dal. But everyone cooks their dal very differently. So when you have a very watery type of dal, which is very popular in Dhaka, they'll have it with rice. I particularly like my dal a bit thicker. But that's enough food vlogging now. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat, okay? No video or vlog or short film about the lifestyle of Bangladeshis or the people of Bengal would be incomplete without pan and supari. Now, pan and supari is betel leaf and areca nut. Disclaimer, this is not a good habit. It can mash up your teeth and can eventually, long-term usage can lead to mouth cancer. Now, where I don't make up for my Bengaliness because I don't eat fish as much, I certainly do make up for pan and supari. I've never actually tried this before. It's called fire pan, yeah? So this is the first time you're going to see me try it. Pakistanis have pan, Indians have pan, Punjabis have pan. They tend to have sweet pan. Bangladeshis and those in the Bengal region, they mix it up. They'll have soon, zarda, dry tobacco, chalk, and yeah, it's very strong, can give you a headache. Some ulama regard it as makruh, as in the very strong, but this is mitta pan. I personally am not a big fan. This is what I'm doing for you guys. But yeah, pan supari is standard. People have it after a meal. So again, disclaimer, do not become a long-term user of pan and supari. Do have it on the off chance. Here it goes. It's a mouthful, but it's nice. The Islamic conquest of Sylhet under Sheikh Shah Jalal in 1303. The Mughal period, Jalalabad, which was named after Sheikh Shah Jalal, that's what Sylhet was called. The arrival of the British in 1757 and post-World War II migration to the United Kingdom. According to the Census Report 2021, there are 652,000 Bangladeshis in Britain, and usually they are flying from this airport in Sylhet to the United Kingdom. Britain needed economic migration from the Indian subcontinent and the wider Commonwealth to rebuild Britain after two devastating world wars. When British Bangladeshis decided, the first generation decided that they are perhaps not going to go back and they're going to settle and start a new life in the United Kingdom, they started sending money back to their home cities. For example, in Sylhet, so much money started coming from the United Kingdom that Sylhet eventually had to develop and modernize to cater for the British Bangladeshi diaspora. I end this short film at Roseview Hotel, a hotel which is regularly visited by diplomats, celebrities, famous sports figures. It's also a reflection of how British Bangladeshis, most of whom are from Sylhet, have progressed socioeconomically from the time when their forefathers arrived in the 60s and 70s to now where Sylhet has developed and modernized to cater for the British diaspora. But I often reflect on the personal story of my own father, who arrived in the UK at the age of 8 in 1966 with his paternal uncles, and how of a huge culture shock it would have been, leaving his parents, the racism that he faced growing up in the UK, and that did he envisage that he would settle and have children and grandchildren in the UK. It's making me think that British Bangladeshis do need to start coming back. And not just in Britain, I'm talking about wherever they are in the West, even in the United States and in Canada, that we shouldn't lose our connection to our ancestral motherlands. We shouldn't abandon it in the same way that our parents and our grandparents left Bangladesh to settle in the West and make a life for themselves, become financially stable, and to support family members who are poorer back home. That we should now give back to Bangladesh. Whatever skills and expertise that we have learnt, that Allah has blessed us with, why do we not come back to Bangladesh and share these skills and expertise? If you are someone who's a businessman, why not consider investing in Bangladesh in whichever way you can give back to your ancestral motherland? There's always this huge debate, especially in Britain. Are you British enough? And your loyalty to the country of your birth is always questioned by Islamophobes and right-wingers. I often do think about it. What is my personal role in Bangladesh, and specifically Sylhet? I would encourage many Bangladeshis to continue visiting, continue giving back, hold on to those cultural roots, because it's a part of our identity. And we should pray for the security and the prosperity of Bangladesh and the wider Muslim majority region.